Well, we're underneath the hood of our 1970 SS 396, a real SS car, with a build sheet too, by the way. Let's take a look, see what we have. It does have air conditioning, it does have power steering, it does have power brakes, new power brake booster, new master cylinder, dual stage. All the hoses are apparently new for the air conditioning. The heat is also hooked up with this particular vehicle, so it does have heat and air in case it does go through the northern climates. New battery in it, but it does have a period correct type cap battery cover on it. It's not an actual battery, but it does have a cover on it. All the clamps are brand new on the car. They are the correct style clamps that came with the vehicle. Tower clamps on the main hoses. Air conditioning condenser in the front is just as fresh and nice as you'd ever want it to be. The dryer is brand new on it. New radiator cap. The radiator appears to have been out and reconditioned. New cooling lines for the transmission. It does have the correct fan shroud and a flex fan, an aftermarket aluminum flex fan on the vehicle, so it definitely gives it a little bit better cooling. It is the heavy-duty radiator, the wide 4-pass radiator that does come with a big block with air conditioning, however. Correct cowl induction type air cleaner with a functional cowl induction hood system. It still has a solenoid and a vacuum pod on it for a functional flapper on the cowl induction hood. Correct high temp coated cast iron exhaust manifolds, which would have been a standard feature on this vehicle. Quadrajet carburetor, as it would have come from the factory, cast iron intake manifold, oval port heads the way they were for a 350 horse 396. Inner fender panels just as nice and semi-flat black as they should be. Engine compartment in this car is just exemplary. It's very, very nice. It's detailed to the nth degree. I haven't been under the vehicle. This is my first shot at looking at this. We just got this, washed it off, and we're going to do a presentation right now to you, everything we see. The engine, I know, I just looked at the numbers. It is not a number correct engine, but it is a 396 era correct engine for the car. But it is not numbers correct matching the serial number of the vehicle. So it is a replacement engine, but it is the correct style motor for this vehicle with the correct carburetor, intake, exhaust, all the amenities for the engine compartment the way it would be in 1970 when this car was first released. I don't see anything underneath this vehicle, under the hood, that is out of place. Even the original air conditioning compressor is intact. Newer style alternator or a reconditioned in one of the two. All your back bracketry hoses, everything is just the way it was when it left the factory. I mean, absolutely everything. Nice car, 350 horse 396. Got a little bit more of a cam in it just by the sound of it, but let's go around and see what we can find on the outside. This is my first shot at looking at it, so let's see what we can find that we need to address. Hi, you're at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, Florida, and this is a new arrival for us. Rod and Jeff just gave it a quick bath. We brought it in. We're going to walk around it. We're going to give you a nice comprehensive presentation as to what the vehicle is, the quality of the exterior of the vehicle. We'll do an undercarriage also and a drive video, and interior also. But we're going to circumnavigate this thing right now, you and I together. I have not seen this car. I haven't gone over it yet. Like I said, we just washed it, we brought it in, we wanted to get it up on the site as fast as we could to you, and any deficiencies that we incur along the navigation around this thing, we're going to either address ourselves or it's something that you know that is there, if it's a little tiny mark or a peck or whatever it is. So let's go over it and see what we can find. Again, 1970, one of the best years you could ever hope for on a Chevelle, and as far as I'm concerned, this is probably one of the best color combinations you could ever hope for. Red with white interior, white vinyl top, and white stripes. How much better can it get than that? Okay, hood fitment to the front. Really, really nice. The gaps appear to be about 1/8 of an inch on both sides. Really nice. Cowl induction flapper. Functional cowl induction designation on the sides of the hood. The paint on this car is absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning. I can't see any imperfections at all in it, not a mark, not a dent, absolutely nothing, no deviations whatsoever in the hood. Bezels around the headlights, chrome is absolutely perfect, just like it was the day it left the factory. Also the correct style hood pins that came with this vehicle. Grille, plastic is really nice, trim around the grille. The aluminum trim is really in great condition on this car, both upper and lower. SS designation in the front, because that's what this guy is for sure. Bezels on this side, same as the other side, absolutely no issues whatsoever. Chrome on the bumpers, like literally a foot deep on this thing. It's really nice. Bumper fitment also, if you notice, you can see this in the video. That is as close as you will ever get one of these bumpers to fit. It's absolutely fantastic. Lenses on the front parking lights. Absolutely brand new, crystal clear. You cannot get them any better than that. Alignment and everything on the front end of this vehicle is really great. Great color combination. I don't see anything on the front end of this car at all out of place. Absolutely nothing. I love this color. Let's go down the driver's side and see what we can find there. Okay, driver's side. Let's see what we can get on this guy. Marker light, really flush, just as nice as you'd ever want to find. Wheel lip molding, absolutely perfect. SS 396 designation. Front fender to the door, you're not going to find it any better. The hood definitely needs adjusted down in the back. Apparently both sides. Didn't see that till now. Both sides of this hood need to be dropped down. Whenever the hood was installed, again after the restoration of this, whoever adjusted it didn't do it correctly. You've got about, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch rise on the back part of this hood. So we definitely have to address that. We're not going to sell you the car with it looking that way. Looking straight down inside the dash with the serial number, the VIN tag is just as nice and clean as could be. The top of the dash, there's no breaks or cracks or any issues whatsoever with it. Trim around the front window, really nice. It's really nice. Correct wiper arms, newer style blades. Newer style blades are black. They should be an argent silver color, but they're an upgraded blade. Obviously a white vinyl top, nicely put on. I don't see any raised portions. It's tucked real nice inside the drip rail, which is absolutely flawless. There's no dings or marks or whatsoever in it. The installation on that was just as sweet as you'd ever want to have. Correct style GM mirror for 1970 Chevelle. Door to the rocker panel. To the quarter panel. Wow, look at this. I mean, talk about a precision fit. That's about as nice as you're going to find one. Brand new chrome door handle with it. Whiskers and wipes have been replaced, front and rear, and they're all nice and fresh, absolutely new. The rubber where it goes to the paint, again, you know, nice fitment of that, nice flush fitment. Apparently new rubber around this car all over. This thing must have been a total rotisserie restoration. We'll see once we get underneath it, but judging from what I've seen so far, this car is, somebody really went out of their way to make this thing as precise as they possibly could. Quarter panel, absolutely nada. No marks, no dings. Wow, really nice. Somebody spent a lot of time and a lot of money putting this car together. This thing is as nice a Chevelle as I've seen for a long time as far as fit and finish goes. All of the ones we've had lately have been really, really good, but this thing's kind of exemplary. Somebody spent a lot of money on this paint job. This isn't just an average paint job on this car. Also, it does have a set of rally wheels with BFG tires on it. They're a wider set. They appear to be 8-inch. The hats are off of a 67 style car. It should have the deeper hats on them. These are actually more preferential. Everybody likes the shorter, the smaller hats. With the smaller centers, it gives you a little bit more depth to the wheel. It makes it look a little sharper. But at any rate, if you don't like those, we'll swap them with something and give you another set with the deeper hats or the bigger hats on it. Tinted glass in the front, I forgot to mention. I'm sure it's tinted on the sides, but it's definitely tinted in the back because the car is an air-conditioned car. Hat rack is absolutely brand new. All the trim around the hat rack, shelf, rear shelf, just as it was when it was new. Trim around the window in the back, same as the front. Absolutely nothing. Side marker lamp in the back. Really, really nice. Nice sharp pin everywhere. This car is going to be beautiful underneath, I can tell just by walking around the outside of it. Let's go out back, see if there's anything there we can notice. Okay, back end of our 70 SS Chevelle. Paint on the back just equals that on the front. It's just absolutely beautiful. No flaws, no marks, nothing. I mean, the paint is just, and the panels are just so precise. Everything is really, really great on this car so far. Gap around the deck lid, really nice. About 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little bit more each way. A little bit of an overhang on each side. There's your overhang. Adjust the deck lid, and it's going to be fitting perfect. So that's an issue, but it's not an issue. We're going to do it. Rubber across the back bumper, the SS designation with nice white in it yet too to accentuate the white on the car, just as nice as could be. These have to be, well, they look like original yet, but the Argent is just as nice as can be. The lenses themselves are really nice on the car, really nice. Chrome on the back bumper, bumper fitment. Somebody spent a lot of time. Rear valance, no pull marks or anything on it. Correct style chrome stainless steel. Exhaust extensions on this vehicle the way they would have been in 1970. The back end of this car equals the front. Very, very precise fitment with everything. A couple little adjustments. Do the hood in the front, deck lid in the back, and you got a nice fitting 2 panels on the car. Let's do the passenger side, see what we find there. Okay, passenger side. Let's work our way up from the rear and see what we can find. Again, the bumper fitment. Look at that. How much nicer could you possibly get it? Side marker lamp, just the way it should be. Nice sharp tin. No Bondo, no mud, no nothing. Whole way. Wheel lip molding, same as the other 2. We got 3 out of 3 so far, no problems. Trim around the back window, same as the other sides, just absolutely no problems. And again, final top is just as sweet as you'd ever want to find. Nice tuck in the drip grill area, which same as the other side. No marks, no dents, no nothing. Whiskers wipes the same. Well, they're all brand new. This car, just judging from what we've done, I mean, the quality of this thing is, somebody spent a lot of money. Paint on this thing's just absolutely stunning. Just absolutely beautiful. Look at this fit. Look. Chrome on the door handle, brand new. Nice soft, fresh rubber across the back for sealing the windows. Paint on the door. Same as everything else on the rest of this car. About as nice as you could get. A little bit of a tuck in on the bottom of the door on this side. And I don't know if it's probably not even worth messing with, to be honest with you. There's not enough of a deviation for us to be pulling doors loose and trying to take a chance of chipping something. It's a little tiny bit, nothing to really get excited about. SS 396 designation. Here we're back to this thing again. Same deal on this side. Both of these hinges have to be adjusted so that it pulls the hood down in the back. This should be level across here, not sticking up 3/8 of an inch. Front wheel well molding, again, same thing as the other side. Marker lamp. Trim around the window. No marks in the windshield. The wiper blades, they look like new Anco blades on them, brand spanking new ones. And you can see the The flapper for the cowl induction is functional. Great combination. We just went around this car. There were no stone chips, no marks, no deviations. I didn't see a... This thing is so straight down the sides. You know, your body alignment and everything with one panel to the next is as nice as you'd ever want to find. It's a 7396 SS car. Not a numbers correct car, but it's an error correct engine for the vehicle. Fantastic color combination. I can't imagine you could get a better combination on it. A couple adjustments on the panels is the only thing that we really found on this vehicle. There were no marks, no dings, no nothing. We present these cars, and this is the first time I've seen this car, first time I've gone around it too, so we're not trying to hide anything. Obviously, I'm showing you every little deficiency that I can come across, everyone. You're seeing a car that is an acceptable car. We try to make sure that every car that we have here at Hanksters and present to you is the highest quality. What you don't see are some of the ones that don't make the grade, and they're out of here. The cars that we go over and make sure that they are correct, really nice vehicles that we're proud to sell to you, or I'd be proud to own myself, we're going to present them to you. The ones that we go around and find issues underneath, before we even do any video shoots, before we do anything on the vehicles, we take a look at them. If they don't make the grade, gone. We're not going to sell them to you. It's a good representation of a 70 Chevelle. I can't imagine a better color. We're going to do an interior. I haven't seen the undercarriage of this car yet, or I don't know what it runs like, but we're going to find out real shortly here, so let's get started. Okay, we're in our 70 SS Chevelle 396 car. This car definitely had to be a total rotisserie restoration because everything's just too nice on it. I mean, absolutely too nice. The headliner is just as tight. Talk about a drum. Look. That's a drum tight headliner on it. Got two lazy sun visors here we have to adjust so that they don't flop down. All we have to do is tighten the two screws. That's common on these GM vehicles. Dashboard, no cracks, no marks, absolutely nothing. All kind of clarity around the base, which I pointed out whenever we went around this car. The hatch shelf in the back, like I said, is brand spanking new. Rear seat, front seat, you can see are absolutely brand new. Absolute perfect duplications of the original seats that came in this car. Side panels the same way, just as nice as you'd ever want to find, just as nice and snow white as you'd want. All new handles, window cranks, any of the chrome on the doors, everything is as fresh as you'd ever find in this vehicle. It's just absolutely gorgeous, absolutely as nice as can be. There's seat belts in the front. I don't see them in the rear. They could be tucked in. A lot of guys tuck them in because most people don't use this as passenger cars, but we'll have to look for them to find out. Full instrumentation, tach, speedometer, gauge cluster, all correct. Everything is just as nice and fresh as you'd ever want it to be. Correct smaller diameter steering wheel, and black the way it should be for an SS car with the three cut supports on it the way they come. Original AM radio that this car would have been released with is still intact. I don't know if it works. We'll find out when we go for a ride. The instrumentation, the controls for the air conditioning are nice and clean and clear, just as nice as you'd ever want them to be. Disc brakes, trim around the brake gas pedal is just as nice as you'd ever want. Console, correct staple shifter, glove compartment functioning, build sheet, copy of it. I'm sure we have the original, but Devin will probably make you a copy of that so you can see our build sheet for the car, showing that it is a true SS. There's absolutely nothing in this vehicle that I can see. The carpeting is brand new in it. It's fresh as can be, nice and black. Kick panels are the original equipment type that this car would have been released with. There's absolutely nothing. This car had to have been a total rotisserie car because the quality of the fit and finish, everything on the outside is just mirrored on the inside of this car. It's just as new a vehicle as you would ever find, even inside the ashtray. How much better does it get than that? We presented everything to you so far. cosmetically, we're going to do an undercarriage video for you and a video drive also, show you how this thing runs, which I don't know yet. I haven't driven it, but we'll find out soon. This particular vehicle is fresh to us. I don't even think I know it's not up on our site yet. We didn't even take a single picture yet, I think, of it. But it is going to be up on our Hanksters website. You need to take a look at this one if you're in the market for a 70 Chevelle SS car. Best color combination, an absolute diamond of a car. Someone spent a lot of money and a lot of time preparing this car. It's available here at Hanksters, Daytona Beach. You got to take a look at this one. Nice car. Right here. See what we got. Well, we have a left turn signal working. We have a right turn signal working. We have a clock working. Like I said, this thing was a total rotisserie restoration. You saw the undercarriage video. There's 20 miles on the vehicle. So apparently this thing was a total restoration. Tachometer working. Wipers working. Air conditioning working, nice and cold. Shut it off. Radio not working. How dare it? Not working, and only after 50 years. Jeez. Temperature coming up as it should. We're showing between 1/4 and 1/2 a tank of fuel. Amp gauge functioning as it should. Like I said, tachometer working. Rear flap working, or column induction flap working as it should. Nice car. Let's go for a ride. See how this thing runs. What's even loose in the back? We have to adjust those back hinges. Definitely need adjustment. Car goes down the road straight as can be. Just really nice straight running car. Just try the brakes. There's nobody behind me really. Stop straight as an arrow. Shut it off. We're in the 35 zone. Car runs nice. Nice running car, real straight. Hi, you're at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, Florida. We just did a video walk around on this vehicle. First time I've been underneath it. Remember I said from being around the vehicle and inside had to be a total rotisserie restoration? Look at this. This is insane. I don't know what, I'd probably just say everything's new and go back inside. It's hot out here anyway. I'll go over things for you, but I mean, I'm going to get tired of saying new. New steering box, new pitman arm, new idler arm, new steering gear, new tie rod ends, new shocks, new springs, New bushings on the torsion bar. Pretty tough to ruin a torsion bar in the front. A sway bar, basically a torsion bar. New rubbers, new bushings in the A-arms. All new brake lines. New starter. All new fasteners for the fender wells. All new fasteners underneath. All new fasteners for your suspension. Motor's been out and completely redone. You can see that. New fuel pump, new lines, cooling lines, and ferrules that go from the transmission to the radiator, which has a new shroud on it also. And I did not notice, this thing is an aluminum 4-pass radiator. They painted it black on the outside so it looks original, but I can see here it's an aluminum one as opposed to a brass one. So that gives you an additional cooling advantage on this vehicle. Again, new brake lines heading toward the rear. New parking brake cable. No drips on the engine, which has been a total rebuild. No drips on the bell housing area. New cover over the bell housing area. All new fasteners on it. A new modulator on the side of the transmission. New transmission pan. Aluminized. They may be stainless. I can't really... I'm going to call them stainless. That's what they look like. 2-inch pipes, drop downs from the high temp coated cast iron exhaust manifolds that are on this vehicle. Frame sections in the front, absolutely brand new. Floor pans, they would have had to have been replaced. I can't really tell. I'm going to say that they were because they're too new and they're too fresh looking. This thing had to have been a total, complete rotisserie restoration, every minute detail. New plugs in the floor pans where they should be, the metal plugs that are in there. No drips on the transmission, no drips on the bell housing area, no drips on the tail shaft area. Fresh, clean drive shaft, just the way it would have been when it was new. New universal joints, both ends. The structural supports underneath the floor pans, which appear to be brand spanking new also. 3/8-inch fuel line, which is also new, obviously, going toward the back of the vehicle. The C-channels between the box frame and the front and the back, the C-channels are really nice and straight and clean. There's no scaling or no deterioration whatsoever. A little jack mark there from someone had a jack stand on it. It could be straightened out, but you know, it's just something that's done through the years. It's certainly nothing that compromises any structural rigidity of this vehicle. I don't see one on this side. I really don't. I don't know, maybe a little one here, but that's a maybe. I do see one there though. Flowmaster mufflers, new clamps. Everything on this vehicle appears to be as it was in 1970 when this guy left the factory. The original crimp welds on the sides of the rocker panels where they meet the floor pans, they appear to be original, but I can't believe it's too nice. They have to have been replaced. I can't call it one way or the other. I mean, it really looks like the floors on this vehicle are absolutely beautiful. We're over halfway through it. Let's see what we can find on the other half. Okay, other half of our 70 SS car, which is totally over the top. Box sections in the back, really nice and fresh looking, nice black paint on them just the way they would have been from the factory. I think I neglected to mention, I see brand new shocks in the back, but there were brand new shocks in the front with the springs. Disc brakes in the front, I know I forgot to mention this. Disc brakes in the front, brand new rotors, brand new calipers, brand new hardware, all new backing plates for them. They still have the aluminite coating on the back of them yet. Drum brakes in the rear, finned, heavy duty, all new hardware for them. New springs in the back, 12-bolt Chevy heavy duty rear, boxed swing arms for the rear end of this vehicle, the suspension, as they would have been for a Chevelle 396 car back in the era. Also the supports in the top, new bushings in them, new bushings in the rear swing arms on this vehicle, new shocks, which I just did mention. This is stainless steel. Stainless steel exhaust out the back also appears to be 2-inch. Going into the correct stainless style exhaust extensions that would have been correct for this car. New gas tank straps, new gas tank pads. Frame sections in the back are just as nicely painted, semi-flat the way they would have been from the factory. crossover section, a couple little tiny marks in it. Maybe somebody hooked a chain to it there at some point. The pan is undisrupted though in the back. Drop downs in the quarters are real fresh looking. Wheel wells, trunk area up above the rear housing. Everything appears to be absolutely just as nice as could possibly be. I can't see a thing on this vehicle that you could fault. I really can't. It's just it's a total rotisserie restoration on a 70 Chevelle Ss 396 car with the build sheet. So you have the best color, the best combination, the best of everything, air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, all new hardware underneath this vehicle, everything new on the outside. You're buying a brand spanking new 1970 Ss 396 Chevelle. The only thing we have left to do is take this thing for a ride and see how it runs, and we'll definitely put it through its paces, see how it works for us.